How do you drink your coffee? Medium? Dark? Light? Or decaf? However you drink your coffee, head over to grimandgardencoffee.com right now to get you a bag. Our prices have never been lower. The official coffee of the Third Wheel Podcast. Three, two, one. Third Wheel Podcast, guys. Welcome back. Ain't notice anything different? Oh, wait, you can't see. Notice anything different about me? Anything at all? Huh? This shirt's a size medium.
Oh, yeah, I can see the tag.
That's right.
Right there
Wait,
in bold lettering.
It says $15.99 for this shirt. Yeah, dude. Finally did it. I'm at my target weight goal, and I've been working out. I only started last week, granted, but I worked out 4 days last week. So, crushing it, if I do say so myself. Fit in a medium shirt. Doesn't look terrible on me. Doesn't look too tight. Looks good. Take that, guy who saw me eating a hot dog out of context and said I should start a fitness channel. Was trying to call me fat. That was in March. I haven't forgotten. But it was good motivation because I knew.
Random dude said that?
Yeah, it was one of the comments. So this guy found our Jeremy Johns video. Like, you know how that video gets a comment like 3 times a year telling me I'm an idiot or nobody knows who you are. So what are you doing talking about stuff, right? And then that guy decided he saw my Jeremy Johns clip, decided he hated it and hated me. So then he went to like 3 or 4 other videos and was like, dude, you're so stupid. Look at all these other stupid videos you make. And so he's like, look at you eating. Who eats? It's like your that buddy you said who was like, oh my God, who serves beans at a bean shop? This guy was like, look at this guy eating. Like, of course you're eating, fatty. You know, and I'm just literally like trying out a new food. And he's like, you should start a fitness channel, fatty. I'm like, all right, that's cool. But I knew, I took it because I knew the day of reckoning was coming, and the day is here. Look at me. I look good.
Kind of look like Nick Avocado.
Thank you. That's a good thing. At first, I was like, hey, I forgot he lost the weight. How you doing, brother?
Yeah, hanging in there.
I hear you, man. I hear you. You got a lot of stuff going on now. Is work still screwing with you as far as just your schedule? Like you're just busy?
I wouldn't say
busy,
screwing
busy.
with me.
Yeah,
but,
you know. Yes, I do. No, I got a lot of projects coming down the pipeline. I finally got someone to do the script for the radio drama. So I'm excited. They sent me their sample. And it's good. Like the humor's there, the charm, and then the obviously it's a scary story. But if I find the right cast, I think the chemistry can be there. Based on the script. I don't mind people as long as it's funny or good. No one's trying to like outshine the rest of it by trying to be funny. I think the chemistry can be really good. We almost can just go off the script itself, but I'm okay with some like fresh like discussion stuff I can mix into it if that makes sense. But I'm excited. Like I would love to do this whole radio drama. Like I think I'm realizing I enjoy editing when it's like just sound like, and adding assets to a video is like all fine and dandy. It's just not my favorite thing to do. But if I'm gonna do all these sound effects and scaries, and the narration and stuff, I'm actually quite excited about it. So the hardest part was getting someone who does a script. I just tell you who it is. It's Brianna. If you remember her, was she our first guest? I think she was. She's also the author of the Exodus Project, which I am working on as an audiobook. I did chapter 1. She has one other person. Gonna send her a sample chapter of the audiobook, and then she'll kind of go from there to see if she likes me or she likes the other girl. But she decided to write the radio drama. I reached out to her and I said, I want to practice audiobooks, and I wouldn't mind doing yours for free. Just let me know if this is what you want. And I sent a sample. And then I was like, also, I'm doing a radio drama. I'm having trouble finding a writer. She writes. She's not a horror writer, but if the story already exists, I just need it kind of converted. And
Typical
so,
male trying to take over a woman's project.
I know.
You have to add your voice and everything.
The real Exodus project was kicking her off the book and putting my name on it. Yeah. But I'm excited. I mean, like, if that's cool, then I can start working on casting. There are people whose voices I adore, but they're really bad at showing up to stuff. You know what I mean? So it's like it would be such a hassle getting them to show up, one, on time, two, showing up, period, because they say yes and then they realize something they didn't calendar sneaks up on them and it's the day of whatever I invited them to. But their voices are so good, you know, and it'd just be kind of perfect, but it just, you know, it's not going to happen. But I know enough people that have good voices and can probably read lines, you know. So I don't know. I think.
Oh, stop.
Yeah. So, my only thought would be like using the people that are on the show the most would kind of take me out of it, because like they can listen to you or me or Darcy on any given episode, but like people that aren't usually on the show, maybe they've been on one or they've done none. Then it's like I get some people that wouldn't. Like, you know, it wouldn't take me out of it if I heard their voice. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, okay, we watched VHS, right? We watched the fourth one. But like, there are a couple of the later entries where you get Steve Ogg from GTA 5, the guy that plays Trevor, right? He's in one of the VHS stories. I think it's called a vignette. He's in one of the stories. And it takes me out of it because it's Steve Ogg, you know, it's Trevor from GTA. And I was like, it's missing the charm of like, oh, this feels like a real thing that could happen to a guy holding a camera. It's literally Steve Ogg doing it. It took me out of it. So I'm worried about if I'm casting myself or people that are on the show like all the time, like, would that take me out of it, or should I go for new voices altogether? I don't know. I'll think about it. I need a narrator, so that might be where you come in. Maybe.
No, I don't want to be part of this stupid project.
Yeah, I know, right? Not
Dude,
part of
start
the
Fitness Channel.
Exodus project. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the only project you were like, oh, I'd actually be excited to do, and I was like, that's hurtful, man. You're attached to every project I've done here.
You've only done one other one.
Yeah.
That you invited me to. Well, yeah, I didn't want to be a part of that one.
Yeah, you didn't want to. You haven't been excited about anything I proposed. You were like, when we did the trailer.
I liked the puppet idea. I supported that one.
I guess so. I mean, I was gonna say you didn't really help to that, but it was only because you did. I pulled a clip where you're in it, and that's what I puppetized. But for the most part, like the trailer, that was a tough one to get you in on.
Yep.
Yep. That was a hard one. I had to fight you to get in that one. God, I look so good, dude. I'm looking at myself in this reflection of
wow,
not Zoom, Discord. I'm like, God, I look. I'm gonna do this a lot. I've been taking a lot of selfies now.
We're gonna take a break every 5 seconds.
Yeah, be like, yeah. But I've been taking a lot of selfies because I like how I look, and I don't usually look like this for very long. But I feel like I'm committed this time. Do I say this every time? I think last time I admitted I'm gonna put the weight back on. This time, I feel like I am committed to keeping it off. Okay,
all right.
I'm at my weight goal. I fit in a medium shirt. This never happens. The only time I've ever done this was 6 years ago. Well, I guess high school, but I don't count that because I don't know. High school is high school. But now I fit in, like, I feel like I'm in the body that I want to be in. So it's like now I got to fight to keep it. So I don't know. I'm trying to be committed. Every week so far, the past 2 weeks, I've stepped on the scale and I haven't gained. Haven't had any episodes where there was a couple times during the diet process where we're on like a trip, and I was like, I gotta hide stuff from my wife, food wise. I ate like 6 packs of Pop-Tarts, just like in a day. And it was like, and okay, you might laugh at this. Like, okay, people that cheat on their wives do this. They go, okay, honey, I'll be right. I'm gonna use the bathroom. And did I take my phone with me to cheat? No. Did I take did I take my iPad to watch some videos and touch myself too? No, I pulled out of my jacket pocket a pack of Pop-Tarts to scarf down before I went back out
I don't
there.
think I've ever heard anyone successfully sexualize Pop-Tarts, but good job, dude.
No. I didn't do anything dirty to the Pop-Tart. I simply
Right before that, you just said touch yourself.
Right beforehand, you freaking said, sir. No, and then there was a time where I was like, oh, we're like on our way out to go to a restaurant, by the way, to eat. And I was like, oh, whoopsie, I forgot something. I ran upstairs. Did I run to text my lover? No. Did I run to... I ran to the Pop-Tart box and I grabbed a pack and I was like, oh.
You said hold the phone. You took the keys out of the car ignition. You closed the door. You ran back up. Why? You were going out to eat.
I told Maddie to hold me accountable for food, and so then I was like, the only way I can get my fix is if I hide in the bathroom and inject Pop-Tarts into my rear end.
Oh, why Pop-Tarts? That's interesting.
I just wanted something like I like Pop-Tarts, and I just wanted I wanted like sweets, and so
okay. What flavor was it?
It was either blueberry or cherry.
Not the cinnamon, huh?
Right. I don't think we had that because Maddie, I think, was like just getting started pregnant wise, or maybe 10 weeks in, and she was like, I want the fruity ones.
You're diving into her reserves?
Reserves? We got the Sam's pack, bro. It's like a pack 100. I was like, we got to get rid of these.
I'll help.
Yeah. She wasn't gonna eat them all herself. She'd get there eventually, but like, let me help you out. We're on vacation.
You know what? From the right angle, looks like you have a 6-pack. Just saying.
Thanks. Like my arm actually looks pretty muscular right here. Like when I keep going like this, I'm like, oh, I look okay. I look like I'm gonna be like, welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. Except he's like really fat. But anyway. What else? Oh man, I got a nice personal story today. We're gonna talk relationship stuff, but before that, and I don't mean my marriage. I'm talking like I'm watching somebody else's train wreck. All right, so let's see. But before that, I wanted to spread some good news here. The biggest box office bomb of 2026 is not Supergirl, so don't worry. Don't get your panties in a knot. We're not going to talk about Supergirl today. Is a movie starring Anthony Mackie, and it's not Captain America, surprisingly. That was last year. It is called Desert Warrior, directed by Rupert Wyatt. The movie was heavily financed by Saudi Arabia with a reported budget of $150 million.
I saw a trailer for that.
Following extensive delays, the film was released in theaters where it grossed $730,940. Not $1 million, just $733,000, resulting in a catastrophic loss of over $149 million. Why do I care about this, you ask? Is because Saudi Arabia funded it. Okay, Saudi Arabia funded this movie, and it failed miserably. We talked a long time when Bill Burr did his thing about, is that KFC over there? Oh, they're just like us. They don't behead women or reporters. There's a KFC over here, right? And so for whatever reason, which you and I don't know, and we'll never know, it's above our heads, why Saudi Arabia is like trying to invest in America stuff. They're buying up properties. They're buying games. They're buying gaming companies. They're funding movies. Why? I don't know. But one of their investments did not pay off. They learned the hard way that you can't just DEI your way to victory here. They got the... I bet you somebody from Saudi Arabia saw Brave New World and was like, okay, so somebody from... Let me take two. And Marker...
Starts sweating.
Somebody from Saudi Arabia came and saw Anthony Mackie as Captain America and said, this is Captain America. This is what we need. So they grabbed Anthony Mackie for their crappy movie. They invested almost like $150 million. It's a lot of money, by the way. And it didn't even bust $1 million at the box office. Not even $1 million. To that I say, welcome to America. It is equal opportunity failures. I hope you enjoyed your stay. I was happy. Why
wasn't that told to the immigrants in the 1940s?
Oh my God.
We all fail equally.
Yeah. I mean, good. I'm glad that they lost a lot of money. I mean, it sounds like a drop in the ocean based on what they're spending now, on freaking it wasn't EA, right? What did they buy?
It was EA.
It was EA, right? The actual company, the $1 billion
most expensive,
Golden Poop Award
tech
winning.
purchase, I think.
Yeah. like garbage. And so I don't know what they're going. I don't know what their angle is. I don't know what their aim is, but I'm happy that they are experiencing what happens in America when you don't know what you're doing and you release a garbage film and you just grab someone who you think might be famous.
You mean the writers that they kidnapped didn't do a good job?
they gave them KFC. But man, I screwed that up like real bad. They gave them KFC. There we go. I've got a lot of editing to do. I got to chop stuff up, make it look like I'm not stupid.
Just like BCC.
It's gonna be tough.
BBC. That's the one.
It's gonna be a real tough episode. All right, personal story time. I have to change names. Okay, I can't even say the other person's name who told me this story. That's
change the first letter.
Nice try. All right. Okay. A real good friend of mine was telling me the relationship woes. So a friend of mine has a friend who's living with them, and she recently started dating a guy I know. This friend did. The guy I know is a friend of mine, and I was kind of helping them introduce each other, right? And I was like, and
Okay.
they hit it off enough, like personality wise, where they clicked, and the girl ended up asking out the guy, all right? And I was surprised by that because she's really pretty and she has options. He doesn't even have a job, and
Wow.
he's like shorter than her, which didn't bug her. Right. So, there's a lot of stuff here that's going to happen that I might, I'm not jealous of this girl, but I'm jealous of like how easy it was for this guy to get a date. Right. She asked him out. He says yes, because he was going to ask her out, but he ended up like chickening out. Like he kept putting off asking her out and all this other stuff. And then she ended up just like, because she's, I guess, very forward. She asked him out. Right. And everything's good. Well, this guy ends up being like really freaking immature. And I mean, this is like next level immaturity. Like it's like it's hard to put into words. So it's like so the two friends I'm talking about live together. The girls, they live together. And so this girl that's dating my friend brings my friend around, and my friend ends up getting really comfortable where he's staying over 7 days a week. He's not spending the night, but he's just like coming in, eating their food, making dishes.
The boyfriend.
Yeah, the boyfriend. Yeah, my buddy. And then he keeps like parking behind the people that actually lives there's cars in the driveway, so blocking their cars to get out. And he, for the life of him, like they keep telling him over and over, stop doing that. Like, just quit blocking everybody in, right? And he still does it. And it's like, dude, like, how do you? And like, whenever they confront him, this is just one example. There's gonna be more. Whenever they confront him about it, he's like, well, I got in a car accident like X amount of years ago, and now I just forget easily. And so like that. That doesn't quite track, right? Because like when you get in a car accident, you're like, oh, who's Caleb? Who's so-and-so? Like, he forgets name.
Right.
If you got memory loss problems, it doesn't stop at, hey, we asked you to quit doing this and you forgot to quit doing it. You know what I mean?
I got COVID one time,
Right, yeah. So now I punch people. I don't know. Like, now I steal from
I got
church.
told, but one guy told me because of COVID, he would forget the names of his children sometimes. Like, you liar.
Okay, no, that's just bad parenting. I don't mean to quote Ryan Reynolds from Deadpool. No, that's just bad writing. So it's hard to do this without saying names, but I'm really trying to be nice here.
Does he watch this?
No, he doesn't. If he did, I wouldn't even bother. But I would have just told you after the show. But I'm so confident he's not going to hear this that but I'm doing the courtesy of not saying names. And I'm not even saying the name of the friend who told me this.
Sure.
But basically, okay, so that's not all he does. So that's one thing. So, and everybody in that house confronts him about blocking driveways. My friend's friend who's dating this guy, and then my friend's husband. They all are like, dude, stop doing that. And he not only like blocks their cars from getting out, but he'll like park so close to where they can't even pull forward and like wiggle their way out of the way. You know what I mean? And then they're like, dude, if it's this hard, then you just don't park in the driveway and just park on the street. And he just still does it. Still does the driveway. Exact same amount of can't get out. And why am I harping on that part? All right. So another thing he did, he took the dish soap bottle that's like over halfway full, right? But not quite halfway. Sorry, not quite 3/4 of the way, but over halfway. And he just fills the rest up with water for no reason. And so now it's just water.
Why is he doing stuff
right?
like that?
Just why? Like your first question is why? and then they say, hey, so and so, don't put away the dishes from the dishwasher. He doesn't live there. He doesn't cook. He doesn't clean up after cook. He doesn't do anything. Yeah. But they say don't put away just for no reason. Don't put away the dishes because. For no reason, he opens the dishwasher, doesn't live there, has no obligation to do anything. He just goes to the dishwasher, sees it's full, and puts stuff in random places. Random. So they found the measuring cup under the sink. Well, okay, not quite under the sink where you keep cleaning supplies, but like one cabinet over, behind the pots and pans, he puts the little 1 or half cup measuring cup. So it's like, how are you supposed to find that? You know, like you think a measuring cup goes in a drawer, or if there's like a cylinder that has a bunch of cups sticking out or wooden spoons, like just somewhere where it's easy to grab. He stuck it. He did like a scavenger hunt weird type thing. And my next thought is just like, why? Like, why are you going in and just messing stuff up? You know what I mean? But like, he's not doing it maliciously. It's just like comes across as like, are you stupid? You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like. Do you have something you're gonna say?
No.
Okay.
No.
Sorry. I must have misheard you. I must have misheard nothing. It's just like, and I'm trying to describe. So anyway, the friend, not my friend, but the one he's dating, is like, you know, she finally had a breakdown and told my friend, who ended up telling me. She was just like, you know, I feel like I'm a babysitter. It's like I like him. She likes him. It's like personality wise, they're fine. But it's like she has to like babysit him, and it's almost like she's babysitting like a 5-year-old. You know, because it's like she can't ask him to do like chores or anything because he just like makes it worse. You know, like you say, hey, sweep this or whatever, and like, you know, he didn't do this, but I'm saying like you just say like, hey, sweep this, and they find a way to like just make it dirtier, or you're worried he's gonna take apart the broom and put the 2 parts in different places for no reason when he's done. Just like something like why would you how do you even think to do something like this, right? So now the girl who's dating him, she's not the most mature person like on planet Earth, right? She's like got a troubled history. She was in like a challenge home, you know, where they send your troubled kids to. And I thought she would like when they were getting together, you know, I didn't like warn my friend, but I was like, hey man, like she's just got a lot that she's going through. Like, you know, she likes you. I'm not saying don't ask her out. I was just like, you know, be prepared for all this baggage, right? I didn't realize this guy was like so far behind developmentally. Because like, okay, so his family, he lives with his parents, and they still cook him dinner. They still do dishes for him afterwards. He hasn't worked in like 6 years. I met him when he was 18. How
old is he now?
He's like 24. That was like 6 years ago. So like he's not a kid anymore. Like, I mean, anyone in their 20s is still young, right? But he's not 16, 17 or whatever. And it's like, so he asked his girlfriend, this girl I'm talking about, he asked her, he said, what's your 5-year plan? Because I want to make sure we're aligned in goals. And she actually got it. I mean, I'm giving her credit because I thought she was going to be really mature through this. She told him, she's like, dude, what's your tomorrow plan? You don't work. You know? And she's like, you don't have a job. Like, she's working. She's finding rides to work. She doesn't have a car yet because she moved here from states over. She's trying to get back on her feet. And so she got a job. It's far. She carpools or she Ubers. Lately, he's been picking her up. So
And
that's
is she
also
the same age as him?
yeah. I think they're
Oh,
around
okay.
the same age. She might be a little bit older, but not much.
Gotcha.
And what was I saying? Yeah, so she's just called him out. It's like, dude, what's your tomorrow plan? You don't work. Like,
Mm,
what do you mean? What's my 5-year plan? Like,
yeah.
what goals are you trying to align? You know what I mean?
Mm,
And so I'm sitting here with, so I'm talking to my friend on the phone. She's giving me all this. She's saying, yeah, this girl's kind of like, she's really getting to the point where she's done with him. She read a text to me and it said, I'd rather be with someone who cheats on me because then I can at least choose to turn the other way, and at least like choose to ignore it and not deal with problems. But like with him, it's like
mm,
it's so weird. Like I can't trust him to not burn the house down. Is like how bad this is.
damn.
And it's and they've had discussions with this dude over and over and over, like, and
Mm,
it's like you can't fix stupid. So like here's another
mm,
example. He accidentally messed with her work. So she asked all her friends to leave a review at this car dealership she works at. Well, I'm not well, I guess I could say that he used a fake name, but he used a fake stupid name to where it was so obvious that it was a spam profile. So he used
mm.
the name John Pork to write the review, to write the review on the website. So she gets called to the
Okay.
office and is like, "Hey, like we know that this guy isn't real for one, like, and we don't mind, your friends leaving your reviews, but like this is ridiculous." And she's like,
Mm,
she's like, "I agree, this is ridiculous. Like I'm so sorry for him." Um and then another thing he does is she was trying to get him set up as like she was trying to plant ideas in her boss's mind about, hey, I got this guy boyfriend who flies drones and he can help you do videos and stuff for your aerial views of your cars or whatever. Well, he, for no reason, without telling her, shows up to her work, parks like a mile away or
mm.
whatever, X amount of feet away. I don't know. And then he just pulls his drone out and starts flying it through their inventory. He's flying it around their building. He gets close to their security camera, and like, and they were just like, they don't know at the time who this guy was or anything, and they're just like, there's a drone flying around spying on us. And so eventually they check security cameras, and you see him pull up and whip out this drone and fly around. And then they recognize him as her boyfriend because he's the one that drops her off. And so then again, they call her to the office and be like, "What the hell is this?" And how do you explain that? Like how do you explain your idiot boyfriend like got you in trouble twice, like over really
She's still
stupid?
seeing this guy after all this
Yeah,
crap?
yeah. Right, like it's really stupid. So yesterday, she had a talk with him, and then she didn't even let him stick around after. So she said, "I'm getting real fed up with this, and like, here's all this stuff that I want change." And I'm with you, dude, because she was with some crappy guys, like really bad, like people that abused her, people that cheated on her, people that enabled her to do some of the stuff she was doing in her past. And she put up with them too. But I was like,
He's just like straight up obsessive at this point.
I wouldn't say obsessive, bro. He's just stupid.
He just
Like,
won't leave her. Like he won't. Like he just follows her all day and just
hmm
like
yeah,
has a drone. Like that's That kind of creepy. And then like leaving a review
yeah.
on her
Well,
work. Like that is
she
kind of
well,
borderline obsessive. I
Well,
don't
she
think
did
that's.
say she did ask him to leave a review, but he like screwed it up. Like he just found a way to get her in trouble with it. He made it obvious that it was an alias, but not even like a. I could have came up with Carlos. I don't know, Carlos Ralph, and just something like that. And nobody would have said anything. Nobody would have gotten her in trouble, but because he was like 69 or 40, something stupid, it got her in trouble. So like he just like actively like annoys her slash my friend put it like, they all live together except him. When he comes over every day. He just makes himself at home. He's like expecting everyone to entertain him. He's expecting to be fed. He's expecting like, what are we all doing? Everyone's trying to chill and do their own thing. He's like, okay, what are we all doing tonight? Like he wants people to step up and entertain him, and I was like, the best thing I can put it is like, he's like, 9 years old or something, 9 or 10. Like he just doesn't know any better. He's doing stuff like a dumb little kid would do. And so I was explaining to Maddie, it's like, we're all talking about it. Like, it's like that's the talk amongst our friend group right now is, it's like they're siblings but their parents died. Right. And then she's in charge of her 5-year-old brother, with
Right.
no parents. It's like that's how it feels like, where he's like, she has to be an adult now and take care of this kid who can't take care of himself because there's nobody watching them anymore. That's what it
Mhm.
feels like. Is like when she says she has to babysit him, it just feels like. Let me reset the camera real fast. Three, two, one. Anyway, so, it's like you can't. Here's my thing. There's nothing to work on. It's like you can't
Mhm.
fix this. This is like next level like immaturity.
Mhm. And you didn't know you didn't know about
No, like
this?
I noticed. No, like I don't hang out with him enough. Like I mean, I see him a lot. I see him before he was dating this girl who's connected to a close friend of mine. I saw him like 3 or 4 times a year, or he'd call me and say, "Hey, do you want to come do this?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll come
Mhm.
do that with you." Like he's pleasant enough, and Maddie put it the best way. He's good enough in doses.
Sure.
But I'm never like, oh, let's call this guy over. He's never like my first choice to bring over. But if it's like with a group of people, like, he's good. He's good with the guys. He's good with all this other stuff. But I don't live with him. I don't spend 8 hours like, with him, or anything like that. Um so um so yeah, I I knew he was a little off. But like, he's homeschooled and he lives with his parents and he hasn't had to work that much. So like, that's always going to set you back a little bit developmentally, but I was like, this is like how do you do you know how to change your own diaper? You know what I mean? Like this is like next level. Like I don't think you even know how. I think if your parents' house burned down, you would be screwed. Like homeless / don't know how to cook, don't know how to do anything for yourself. I didn't know it was that bad. Like I knew he might be behind a little bit, but I didn't know it was like this, to where it's like, dude, like how do you asked earlier why, and I'm like, I'm with you. Like what goes on in your head to where you're like, oh, this bottle's half empty, this bottle of soap's half empty, I'm just gonna fill it with water, and ruin it essentially. Now it's like so diluted to where they have to buy just a brand new bottle.
Yeah.
And so like this girl, as I said, she's got a troubled past. I thought she's not the most mature person ever. Like she doesn't handle all her stuff, in a way that would think would be the way to handle it for your age, right?
Yeah.
But like like in a relationship, you want to challenge each other to grow. You want everyone to be on the same level, and then to get better, you have to work on yourself. But also, like when you're dating someone on your level, maturity wise, you both highlight in each other ways where you guys are struggling and you need to improve on something. Like me dating Maddie, there's so many issues that come up. Like I didn't realize I have anger issues. I didn't realize how lazy I am. And like I've known like a hint of those things, as my life has gone on, but I haven't had a reason to work on them until I got married. And so it's like, oh, well, I get snippy at Maddie for no reason sometimes, or I get frustrated easily. Maddie asks me 50 times before I do dishes to do dishes, right? Like that type of stuff. Like, oh, I need to work on that. I got some stuff I need to work on. With them two, it's so crazy to me that I have to talk about her as she's the mature one, where it's like she has to be the one, and she's not just helping him grow. Like he's so far behind, he's not at a level where he can highlight anything that she needs to grow with, because he's so far back. He doesn't work. He doesn't make his own food. He eats everyone else's stuff. He parks in their spot. Like he's not at a place where he can even function in a relationship, period. Like I don't even think he could function on his own, period, So there's no way, because he can't help himself grow up, there's no way he can help her also mature in ways that she didn't know, because he's not even at the same level of like a regular human being. And yeah, I mean, it's a good question. You asked me, like, how do I not see that? I don't know. Like, I don't live with him. I only see him in like a group setting. And I enjoy him in a group setting, but I've never lived with him or anything like that. So yeah, it's just like a bizarre like conversation I've been having with this friend all week as like the stories unfolded. So she called him over last night, and they had the big talk, and she told him like, this is getting too much for me. Like, I don't think we're gonna work like this. Like, I'm frustrated all the time at you. The household. Now, again, this is where her immaturity comes out. She told him that he's gonna die alone, and he has no friends.
Jeez Louise.
And that's the type of stuff I expected from her, right? But because he's not in a spot where he can be like, hey, that's actually something really rude to say, or like, hey, don't talk to me like that. Like, if you got something wrong, let's talk about it like that. He's not even at that level. So he runs home crying. You know what I mean?
Oh, jeez.
Right. And so it's just like, so she can't even, like I said, she can't even learn where she needs to grow because he's not at a level where he can be like, call out anything, because she has to do all the calling out. And again, knowing what little I know about her personally and in her past, I did not expect her to be the mature one. Not just like, oh, she's the normal one. She's also just the mature one in this relationship. That is so backwards to me. It's not what I expected at all. So it's such a weird story. Like, I mean, I've had a bad roommate that reminds me of this guy. And again, he doesn't live at that house, but he's like doing weird stuff at that house. Like the worst roommate I ever had would do stuff like that. Like, he ripped out the closet door because like one of the hinges was loose. So instead of like, tightening the screws on the hinge, he just ripped the whole door off. And so then we had that came out of our deposit. And so I was like, dude, what the heck? Why wouldn't why would you do that? Why would you rip the door off? There was another time, I don't know how he did. I don't know what the thinking was in his head, right? This is my old roommate, different guy, just to clarify. But this guy I'm thinking of took the knobs off of the oven, like the thing that turns on the burner to 5 or 9, whatever you're trying to cook on the stove. He took the knob off, all 4 of them. I don't know why. And he stuck them in the garbage disposal. And so I was doing dishes. I didn't know they were in the garbage disposal. I'm doing dishes, and I was like, oh, the garbage disposal is not draining. That means I got to turn it on and get, whatever's in there unstuck. Well, I turned it on, and it crushes up the freaking knob. And so I was like, what the hell? So now one of our oven burners doesn't have a knob on it. And so I was like, why would you do? And I was like, I want
very confused.
Me too. And it's like, I want to think like maybe he thought he was going to take them off, clean them, and put them back. But he ended up like just taking it off and sticking it in the sink. And one of them ended up in the disposal, and it was crushed up because I didn't know, and it just like, it made no sense to me. Like, why would you, who would do that? And that's like some of the stuff that this guy's doing to this girl and at my friend's house. It's bizarre, and it's like, again, like, why? What's the thought process behind just making something stupid and worse, than when you left it? And so when I'm hearing all these little stories, like, he did this today, he did that today, and it just made me think of that roommate. I was like, oh my God, dude, that's literally what it is. Like, at least in my roommate's case, he was autistic, so I could kind of like put that, like, oh, that's his reason for why he does this. Like, and he, doesn't. He hasn't tried to function, or had tried to work on stuff. But so yeah, this guy, he's on like super thin ice. But I keep forgetting this point. So they had the talk yesterday, like a big one, like, hey, like, this is getting too much for me. We're not through yet, but also everyone's kind of getting sick of you living here, so you need to go home. And he went home like really sad, and I haven't heard anything since then. That was like yesterday. I don't know what they've talked about today or whatever. But basically, like, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be over soon. But she has to really like him to not just kind of call it already. Like, I don't know any woman who would give this guy who's like can't function this many chances, unless like you did like him, you liked his personality, y'all had fun together. There was like, I guess some good stuff, like maybe he made her laugh or something, or he wasn't like, abusive physically. He's just really stupid, so I don't know. She must really like him to stick it out this long, but I just thought it was a really like weird situation for everybody that's in it. you know, and I'm not in it at all. I just hear about it through my friend, and I'm like, this what a bizarre, weird story, you know. Um, so
Okay then.
interesting. Like I don't know, it made me think. I was like, dude, I've never met nobody I've dated ever gave me that many chances to be that dumb. You know what I mean? Where you mess up their house, you mess up their job, you mess up their driveway, and they're still just trying to give you chances, talk to you and make you see common sense, you know? Like you
Uh,
remember my first breakup story? I wasn't even watching porn at the time, and I was like, "Hey, this is something I've struggled with in the past, but I'm doing this and that. I'm going to therapy to work on it just to be safe." And she was like, "We're through," you know. And that
mhm.
was me like having a plan, acknowledging something before it was even an issue, and I wasn't watching it at the time, but she didn't even give me a. She was like, "Oh, well, in that case, we're through," you know. And I was like, most women don't have, in my experience, anyone I've tried to be with never gave me that type of like, "Hey, this is your last chance. This is your last chance," or whatever. Except for Maddie, but I don't do anything like that, you know, to where it's like I'm stressing her out every freaking day. I mean, she might say otherwise, but you know. Um, anyway, I just thought it was a really like bizarre, completely bizarre thing. I don't know. I thought it'd be a good discussion topic, but I don't know. What do you think? You got any thoughts on that?
Uh, not sure about discussion. It's more just who are these people in your life?
Yeah.
I hope you know that's not normal. It's just like anyone in that story. It's just
Yeah. It's not that.
I tell I tell people sometimes like, yeah, Caleb has a friend group. He's like the only normal one.
Oh, that's not true. I mean, you're in my friend group and you're pretty normal, I'd say. You might disagree with that sentiment, but you know, I think you're amongst my more normal friends. You'd know
Oh
normal
yeah,
if you came to some of the other
definitely.
stuff that I've invited you to. You come to the ones where only the weirdos show up.
But judging by this story, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. There might be more of the weirdos than I think. Um,
Yikes.
you know what though? It's not that crazy to think about. Because, like, you know, you hear stories of people that are with abusive men, and you wouldn't believe some of the stories of abuse. I mean, I don't know if have you heard a lot of people that are in abusive relationships and like what the guy will do to the girl or the other way? Like, do you ever hear those stories
Well,
or
I wouldn't constitute this as abusive, but to your point, um, I've known people after the abusive relationship.
hmm
I don't know if I've really known anyone during.
okay.
Um,
The stories aren't that different, except usually they involve like I agree with you. The story I just gave is an abuse, but like
mhm.
people that are in abusive relationships, the stories are that gruesome to where it's like, why would you be with this person, but they still choose to do it?
Well, does she have like zero self-confidence? I mean, you said
Right.
yourself that she asked him out.
Right. No, I wouldn't say zero self confidence because she had the confidence to tell him like this is ridiculous, or
She should have said that attempt after
yeah,
the first thing or
right.
second thing. But this sounds like it's been
hmm
going on for a while.
Well, not
Like,
a while. Like we're talking like maybe 2 months, like max. Like she hasn't been with
gotcha.
this guy like a year trying to get him to change or anything. This is
Well,
like
I'm sorry. As soon as we pull the goes home crying card, and not that I'm entirely on her side either because of the comment she made, which is
yeah,
dumb. But
right,
yeah, I just pull the plug. I don't understand why this is even a
yeah.
discussion, but it's not me,
Because like
I guess.
when I heard the drone story and the John Pork story, I was
Who
scratching.
freaking does? I'm still
Yeah,
hung up on the
right.
who grabs a drone, goes
Yeah,
to their girlfriend, boyfriend's workplace, and just spies for no reason for
right,
fun. Like,
right.
who is that supposed to
Yeah,
please? Like,
exactly.
that's weird,
Like, how
dude.
would that not get everyone in trouble? You know what I mean? Like,
But like
how would that not just
the goal, like, was he trying to
right?
amuse her, amuse himself? Like,
hmm
I don't understand.
Exactly. And so when I heard those I heard those two stories like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they had just started dating by then. So it's probably even less than 2 months they've been dating, quote unquote. My birthday. That's when he asked her out. I'm sorry, that's
Okay.
when she asked him out. My birthday. So a little over 2 months. Um, and anyway, when I heard those two stories, I was like, you can't fix stupid. Because like there's certain behaviors you can, like, oh hey, I don't like it when you get mad so fast. Like Maddie all the time says, I don't like it when you get mad so easily. And that's fair, and that's something I can work on. You know what I mean? That's like something I can notice what triggers me getting upset, right? And I can start looking at stuff. I can journal. I can be like, okay, I get mad when this happens, and I can journal like today I got mad and all this. Like I can work on that. But like, how do you go about telling a guy, hey, it's not a good idea to fly their drone around my work without asking anyone, telling anyone, waving at the camera? Like, how do you fix that? You can't. Like, how do you fix something that's so fundamentally like shouldn't even be a thought in someone's head? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like that unfortunately takes real world consequence.
Mm-hmm.
Like it takes being arrested or something.
Right.
You know, like or it
Right.
takes harassment accusation. You know, it takes
Yeah.
that when you don't learn it and no one taught you, but then you just choose not. Because the thing, you know, autistic people go through this a lot.
Sure.
Highly autistic people. So like little less than like you know, high functioning, where it's like they are used to this certain lifestyle, this behavior for so long, and no one ever corrects them. But then they get to a stage in life where they can make a choice, where they can actually recognize and assess, hey, maybe this is why I'm getting these negative reactions, or they just kind of fall back into it and embrace it until they get in trouble one day, or they get someone hurt, you know, or something happens. Like it's that's why. I don't know. It takes people that's why it takes brutal honesty and like, unfortunately, like, yeah, I think this guy's due for like a consequence of some sort,
right?
Beyond just breaking up with his girlfriend, because he strikes me as someone who's gonna walk away from this being like, oh, she's the crazy one. I don't think he's gonna look at himself at this point.
Yeah.
Not knowing who this guy is or never meeting him in my life potentially, but yeah.
Well, and I agree with you. So, like, I'm hoping, and I was telling my friend this on the phone. I was like, I hope he calls me up when they break up and says, hey, I need help processing this. He might not, and that's fine. I'm not going to call him up and be like, hey, bro, this is all your fault. But if he asks, like, you know, what I do wrong, or if he's, like, thinking, like, I don't know what happened, or even if he tries to say she wasn't nice, she doesn't understand I was in a car wreck 7 years ago, I'd be like, dude, like, and I'm going to tell him. I'm going to tell him all the things, like, you have to grow up. Well, how do I grow up? Get a job. That's step one. Get a job. Like, it's clear you haven't worked because, like,
sorry, this friend who told you all of this, did she witness any of this?
Oh yeah, because they all live together.
Okay.
Yeah, they all live together, gotcha. And then the girlfriend tells her everything too. Actually, both of them come to this person, to be honest with you.
Gotcha.
But obviously, the girlfriend lives with her, and so they talk more than the guy does. But anyway, but yeah, she's there for a lot of it. She's there for the driveway stuff, and you know, so like the first time the girlfriend went ape crap on him, like and yelled at him, he was like, "Don't yell at me." So then she's like, "Oh, you're right. That was too much for me. I shouldn't have yelled. I shouldn't have overreacted." So then she tries doing it nice. But you can only tell someone nicely 10 times to quit blocking everyone's car in the driveway before you resort back to yelling again. And that's the only way he listens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's like you want me to not treat you like a kid, but you just act like a kid and refuse to grow up, you know? So yeah, no, I hope he asks me like, or at least tries to at least tell me it's all her fault. And I'm like, dude, like, no. Like, she gave you plenty of chances. I'm going to let him have it. And, like, you know, obviously, if they break up, this is his first girlfriend. It seems like it's his first a lot of things. First friends, first, like, a lot of stuff. And it's like, dude, like, you know, she didn't just give you a lot of chances, bro. You're so far behind. And, like, it's not all your fault. Your parents never kicked you out of the house and told you to start working. Like you've never had any incentive to try to mature. You know, your parents really failed you in that regard that they baby you so much and they just kind of be like, oh, our poor little so-and-so, like let him he can live here forever. He can eat our food forever. There's a line to where it's like, hey, at some point you got to go work and go move out and get a job. And like, I don't know, you shouldn't be, unless the only reason you should live with your parents is if you're saving up for the next thing, which is either buying a house or going to rent. Like, you shouldn't be there 6+ years after graduating high school just doing nothing. You know, like, that's unacceptable. Personally, the only reason you should be living with your parents is to save up for something else. Personally, this is my opinion. Like, you know, I don't know, your experiences may be different, but at a certain point, you have to be like, hey, it's time to grow up, and like, I got to start doing stuff on my own. I personally, unless I'm saving for a house, I would have been ashamed to bring Maddie over to my parents' house if I wasn't like, but I'm putting $1,000 a month toward a house down payment. You know what I mean? I would be ashamed to bring Maddie to that if we were still dating and I was living with my parents. But nobody's pushed him like that. So if I'm talking to him, I'd be like, hey, like, to some extent, this is your upbringing's fault, parents, household, whatever. But dude, you're in your mid-20s now. Like, it's on you now. Like, if no one taught you to grow up, that sucks. But now it's on you from this point to take responsibility and then take action. And it's like, okay, well, how do I do that? And like I said, get a job. That's step number one, because you work with coworkers, you realize what's okay to say, what's not okay to say. Like he said, he needs real world consequences. If he's going to make a joke that offends someone and then they report him to HR, so be it. But I guarantee you that time he learned his lesson. I can't say that, right? And then start paying your own rent, start having to be responsible for your own food. You start to realize I can't Uber Eats all my meals because it's like an extra $20 delivery fee. Like, all this stuff you learn by literally getting a job. Oh, I don't like my boss. My boss is a jerk for no reason. Well, so is everybody's boss, you know, but it's something you have to deal with when you're an adult. It's like, you don't like working for people because they suck. And then from there you can decide, do I want to switch jobs, not just quit this one because it's hard? Do I want to switch jobs? Or maybe like as you're working, you're like, oh, this is like, I know what I like about this career. I wonder if there's any jobs that fit this part of the job I like. You know, so you start looking at career changes maybe. Or you're like, oh, I want to be my own boss because I don't like working for people. And then you start a business. Like, but you can't do that if you're just going to not work living with your parents. There's no room for growth in that area. So my first step for someone who has no life experience is to literally start working. I don't know if you've experienced this, but I don't know how many like immature people you've known in your life, but someone who doesn't work and doesn't have a car, I've seen this like 4 times minimum, where the person who's never worked and doesn't have a vehicle, they rely on people to drive them everywhere, or they ask people to buy stuff for them because they don't have the money. When they do finally decide to get a job, they get a job like across town. They have no way of getting to unless someone takes them to. So I had a roommate in college who same type of struggles. Like he didn't have a dad and his mom was babying him. So he's in college and no car, no job ever. Everyone was telling him to get a job, but he was paying rent and buying food based off of his college refund. So if you know his mom paid too much in college, he'd get a refund, and that's what he would pay rent off of. That's what he would use to live off of. That was his money for the semester. Well, when that ran out and he graduated, we lived together for like 6 months after that. Real life hit him, and he had to start working now. Like, there's no college refund anymore. School's over. You have to get a job. Well, he gets a job at Subway, which is cool. Like, oh, he's not being picky. He's not trying to, you know, oh, I don't work fast food, I'm too good for that. Like, he got a job at Subway, but he got a job at Subway across town, not within walking distance. Like, keep in mind, there's not 50 other restaurants that he can walk to from our apartment, or there's not an H-E-B across the street where you can work there and actually, they give you money for retirement and all this other stuff, right? Like, he takes the Subway across town, not within walking distance. He needs a ride because it's across the freeway, even not just across town, but the freeway. And there's no walking for this part. You have at some point you start walking, you hit the freeway, and you need a car to get across, right? And so like, and his shift starts at 7, so he's expecting people to get up at 6, go to him, pick him up, take him to work. and then come back at 5 and take them home. And it's like, dude, why did you get a job at the Subway across town and not the Subway up the street? Well, they're the first person that called me back. I'm like, dude, why'd you even apply? Like, there's like 80 other. This is a college town. There's 80 other places right here that'll take you.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't register with them. Like, they just don't think about it. They just, they don't think. They don't think, because they just don't have the capacity to. They never, nobody's taught them. Nobody's ever like showed them like, hey, this is actually really stupid. Nobody told them that.
Mm.
And it's like, it's not because they don't want to make smart choices. Sometimes the guy I mentioned earlier with his girlfriend, I think, is choosing not to take stuff to heart or choosing not to grow. But before that, like this buddy right here in college, it's like nobody showed you or told you like, hey, this is how you should be thinking. Here's how you should be acting. Like, nobody told him that, so he's having to learn the hard way. But I've noticed in a pattern of people that aren't responsible or they're immature, they take a job like an hour away for no reason, and it's like, well, they're the first person that hired me. I was like, you could have worked at the McDonald's up the street, There's a McDonald's, a Taco Bell, there's gas stations, there's there's restaurants. You could waitress there, and they're just like, oh, I took this job an hour away, and it's a car dealership. Like, there aren't 5 dealerships in this town, right here, it just doesn't. But anyway, I digress. Like, I don't know. It hit a chord with me, this story I heard, and I was like, man, this brought up some bad memories, dude. So anyway, I don't know. Like, you probably don't hang out or associate with people like that much, do you?
Not anymore. I don't.
Not anymore, but you've done it before, though, haven't you?
Oh, sure. And like, it just gets so exhausting, and you get nothing out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Occasional good time, maybe, but it's not worth it.
Okay.
Yeah. No, not anymore. I have a super low tolerance for immaturity.
Right. Well, my buddy in college, like, when we talked and sat down, like, about personality stuff, it was fun. Like, oh, we like the same movies, we like the same music. We had good, even somewhat philosophical discussions because we both did like college ministry. It was just volunteer work. And we were both like small group leaders. Like, we had good discussions about Bible stuff. But when it came to like life knowledge, it was like he was worthless. Like, there was one time. There was one time I noticed the freaking toilet paper rolls that I had in my private bathroom were running low, and I was like, well, what the hell? I just bought this pack. And then one time I was like, I keep an eye out, and I catch him. He just when his bathroom's out of toilet paper, he goes to my stash and grabs 6 rolls and then takes them to his bathroom. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I ran out. And I was like, you didn't even ask? You're just gonna take them? And he's like, well, can I have some? No, put them back. It's like, dude, like, when you need to borrow a roll, like, you gotta poop. I get that, but when you gotta poop and you're out of toilet paper. Hey, can I have a roll? I'm sorry. I'm going to the store tomorrow, or I'm going to the store next week. This will last me till then. I don't get paid till... You know what I mean? You don't just go like, oh, I'm out. Caleb has 20 rolls. Let me go grab 10 of those. You know what I mean? You don't do that, but people that just don't have any common decency, nobody taught them how to be a person, a human. It's just, it shows. It shows in everything they do. There was one time he was asking for help to... He stuck all his groceries in the freezer, and he couldn't get the door to shut. And he kept going like this. He just like kept doom, doom, and he's like, hey, so and so, can you come help me? Because there was like 5 of us living in that apartment, and he was like, can you help me, so and so? And then he kept doing this with the door, like hitting it, making a noise. And then the guy's like, hey, I'm busy. I can't actually help you with this right this second. Just reorganize it. And he's like, I'm trying, but it's just like not working. Doom, doom. And he's like, can't you just come help me? Doom, doom, doom. And I got up and I was like, dude. And so the guys that I'm talking about in college, his name was Kay. And I was like, Kay, are you serious? And I got up, I paused my game. I was playing Arkham Knight. I paused my game, and then I walked over. That's how long ago this was. And I got up and I go to the freezer, and I just like I moved the pizzas around. I put the if the boxes made sense to go on the bottom, and then the bags, the pizza rolls on top, like, and then I closed the door. And I was like, dude, and I slammed the freezer. And I was like, was that so hard? Like, you could have done that. And it was like, and maybe I shouldn't have done it for him, but I was so tired of him just hitting the freaking freezer door, choosing not to think, Anyway, this story triggered me, and so like now I'm
the trauma dump. Oh my gosh.
I know. I'm sorry. Well, we're out of time anyway, but like it's just like, and I think I've told you that story before, but that was a while ago, so you probably don't remember. But anyway,
yeah.
The story triggered me in a lot of ways. I was like, oh my God, it's every terrible roommate I've ever had my entire life.
Well, just remember, this is not your boyfriend.
That's right. I'm not your boyfriend. But anyway. All right. Well, that's it for this episode. Thanks for sitting here and reliving a traumatic part of my life. We'll see y'all next time, hopefully under brighter possibilities. I don't know. I made a reference to my work, but anyway. See y'all next time. Say bye, brother.
Bye-bye.